السلام عليكم. أرحب بكم في الدرس الأول. I welcome you to lesson number 1. And the books that we are going to use in this course are called Al-Arabiyyatu Bayna Yadayk, that is translated as Arabic between your hands. And today we are going to start book 1, part 1, lesson number 1. Al-Wahdatul Ula, unit 1. At-Tahiyyatu wat-Ta'arufu, greetings and introduction. الحوار الأول, dialogue 1. انظر, look, واستمع, listen, وأعد, and repeat. So here, as we can see, we have dialogue, and you are going to listen to the dialogue. I'll just read it for you, and then you can repeat it with me. And after that, we will have a look at the translation. Khalidun, Assalamu alaikum. Khalilun, wa alaikum assalam. Khalid, ismi Khalid. Masmuka. Khalilun, ismi Khalil. خالد كيف حالك؟ خليل بخير والحمد لله. وكيف حالك أنت؟ خالد بخير والحمد لله. Now I have read it for you, and I would like you to repeat it with me at least once, so that you get to develop the habit of speaking Arabic as well. Now let's have a look at the translation. So Khalid says, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. And Khalil says, Wa alaikum assalam, peace be upon you. Khalidun, ismi Khalid masmuk. Now here, if you see ismi, we have ya over here, and it is used with a noun, and it means my. For example, you say my name, so it will be ismi, and it is used for singular, masculine, and feminine. So whatever you have, for example, you have a book and you want to say my book, so you will say kitabi. And if you have a pen and you want to say my pen, you will say qalami. So he says, Ismi Khalidun, my name is Khalid. Masmuka, and what is your name? Here we have ka, and ka means your, as we can see over here, and it is used for single masculine second person. So the person that you are talking to, you will say ka. Like you can see in the picture. In the picture, we can see that there are two men and they are talking to each other. So that's why we have ka over here. Masmuka, what is your name? Similarly, you want to say your book, you will say kitabuka. You want to say your house, you will say baytuka. And you want to say your pen, you will say qalamuka. Khalilun, ismi Khalil. My name is Khalil. So as we can see here, when we use ya here with a noun, then it is translated as my. Khalidun kayfa haluka. And now we have ka over here. So how are you? If you want to translate it like word by word, it will be how is your condition. Basically, hal means condition and ka means your. So if you want to translate it like word by word, it will be kayfa haluka, what is your condition? And then in general translation, we will say, how are you? Khalilun bi khairin walhamdulillah. He says, I'm fine and praise be to Allah. Wa kayfa haluka anta? Now, the Arabs, they have like a tradition of greeting, and whenever they greet someone, generally it's very warm and they want to say something extra. So if you say kayfa haluka, he will say kayfa haluka anta. So he will definitely add something to that, and that means how are you? Now, if you say kayfa haluka, that is enough. Yani, how are you? And then when you add anta, it becomes basically how are you when you translate it in English. But in Arabic, basically, it is used for the purpose of emphasis. So if you want to emphasize the idea, further emphasize, so you will say كيف حالك أنت. Khalid بخير والحمد لله. Khalid says, I am fine and praise be to Allah. And when we say anta, anta is basically used for the second person masculine, and it means you. So what's the difference between anta and ka? Anta is used independently, and then ka is used with a noun. We have to attach ka to a noun, for example, ismuka and haluka, whereas when you use anta, it is used independently, and these are pronouns. In Arabic, we call them dama'ir. Now, when we talk about ya, so this is called ya al-mutakallim. That basically means the ya of the speaker, and it is used for singular, masculine, and feminine, and it means my. So I give you some nouns over here, for example, kitabun, and now you want to say my book. So you simply add ya to that, so it becomes kitabi. Remember that in modern standard Arabic, it's written with two dots. So you can see two dots here if they are not here, and it can also be written without two dots. When you talk about the Quran, in Quran it is always written without two dots, but in modern standard Arabic it's generally written with two dots. So the non-Arabs, they are able to understand that this is ya and this is not something else. Ismun, and then you say ismi, my name. Lisanun, tongue, and then you say lisani, my tongue. Ainun, eye, and you want to say my eye, so you will say aini. Sa'atun means watch, and you want to say my watch, you will say sa'ati. And qiblatun means direction, and qiblati, that means my direction. If you see over here, so we have nouns over here, and with the nouns, when we add or when we attach ya, these two vowel signs, they disappear. As you can see, these two vowel signs will disappear, and there is a requirement of ya that there should be a kasra before it. So that's why you can see that all of them have kasra before them. So it becomes kitabi, ismi, lisani, aini, saati, and qiblati, and whatever nouns you have in front of you, whatever objects you have in front of you, just look at the object and just try to say my. For example, my phone, you will say jawali. My desk, maktabi, and whatever you have around you, now you can practice with that. Similarly, when you want to talk about your, you want to say your to the second person masculine. So you will use the attached pronoun ka. So we say ismun, and then we say ismuka. This is for the masculine. Khalun and khaluka, that means your uncle, and sadiqun, that means friend, and sadiquka, your friend. One more thing, as you might have noticed over here, when we have two vowel signs, when you use attached pronoun to that, like ka, then we use only one vowel signs. We cannot use two of them. So this is also very important thing that you need to know. So here we have two signs, but when you have ka with that, then you will use only one vowel sign. If you have two vowel signs, as you can see here, reverted dhammas, so you will change it into one. Similarly, khalun changes khaluka, and sadiqun becomes sadiquka. If you use two vowel signs here, ismunka, that will be a mistake. So you need to be very careful about that. Al-Hiwar al-Awwal, dialogue 1, Ba, that means part B. And now if you look at the picture, one of the beautiful things about these books is that these books have lots of pictures. So from the pictures, you can also get some idea that like who are the persons that are taking part in the conversation. So now we can see that we have two ladies over here. Arabic is a very, very dynamic language. And in Arabic, the pronouns that we use, dhamir that we use will change according to the person. If you look at the English language, we only use your for one person, masculine, your for two persons, and your for more than two, whether it's masculine or feminine. But in Arabic, it's different. So we have seen for the masculine, we have used ka, and here for the feminine, we will see that we will use we will use the same pronoun, but the different vowel signs. Khawlatu, khawla. Assalamu alaikum. First, I will read it for you so you can repeat with me. Assalamu alaikum, Khadija. Wa alaikum assalam. Khawla, ismi Khawla. Masmuki. What's Masmuki? Note over here. Khadija, ismi Khadija. Khawla, kayfa haluki? خديجة بخير والحمد لله وكيف حالك أنت خولة بخير والحمد لله. Now let's have a look at the English translation. Assalamu alaikum, we have already taken it. Wa alaikum assalam, the same thing, we have done it before. Ismi, again, we have the ya over here, and as we know that this is called ya al-mutakallim, the ya of the speaker, the first person who is speaking, and make sure that it is used for singular, whether it is masculine or feminine. Masmuki. Now, if you see over here, ismi, so ya means my, and when you say uh, ki, now you can see that the vowel sign has changed, and we need to be very careful. The vowel signs play a very significant role in Arabic language. Changing the vowel signs means changing the gender and also means changing the meaning as well. So if you say ka, that means you or your, basically for the masculine, and when you say ki, that means your, but that is used for the feminine, singular feminine. So this kasra will change the meaning completely, in fact the gender completely. So from masculine it has changed into feminine. And why and how it has changed into feminine? Only because of changing the vowel sign. For the masculine it was ka, and for the feminine it becomes ki. Khadija, ismi Khadija. My name is Khadija. كيف حالك? So as you can see here for the feminine, you will say ki. كيف حالك? How are you? And Khadija says بخير والحمد لله. I'm fine, praise be to Allah. And then she says, in fact, وكيف حالك أنت? So in the previous dialogue, it was كيف حالك أنت, and here we have كيف حالك أنت, because we are talking about the feminine, and this is independent pronoun which is used by itself. You don't need to attach it to anything. But when you use ka or when you use ki, then you have to attach it to a noun. That's number one. Number two, if you're talking to a feminine, then you say كيف حالك أنت, and if you're talking to a masculine, you say كيف حالك أنت. And Khawla says بخير والحمد لله. I'm fine, praise be to Allah. Now we have seen in the previous slide that for ka we used, that means your, and that was used for the masculine, and now we can see ki over here, and this is used for the feminine. So ismun plus ki, it becomes ismu ki, your name, when you're talking to a singular feminine. Khalun and ki, khaluki, and that means your uncle for the singular feminine. And sa'atun and sa'atuki, that means singular feminine. For example, you're talking to Fatima, you say sa'atuki jamilatun, your watch is beautiful. Now we have the the exercises over here, and in the exercises what we have here is al-mufradatu. Al-mufradatu means vocabulary. Al-ard means presentation. Unzur wastami wa'id. Unzur, look, wastami, and listen, wa'id, and repeat. كيف حالك أنت مسمك. So أنت means you for the feminine. كيف حالك Anta, you, and masmuki, as we can see, we have the attached pronouns over here. Here, you don't have to solve anything. It's only for reading. And when we go to the move on to the next part of the exercise, then you have to answer the questions. Here, it is only for reading. For example, كيف حالك أنت مسموك. كيف حالك أنت مسموك. Sil at-tadrib, that means practice. Sil bain al-ibarati, that means connect or match between the text. Was-surati, and the picture. Al-munasibati, that is suitable. So basically you have to match between the text and suitable picture. Masmuka. So now, as you can see here, the person that you're talking to is masculine. So when you're asking, what's your name? So it will be masmuka, talking to the man. And when you're talking to masmuki, to the feminine, so you will say masmuki. So ki here for the feminine and ka for the masculine. These are amazing books. If you really want to learn spoken Arabic and also want to improve your Arabic and want to take it to the next level, these books are unbelievable. Just practice with me, continue with me, and inshallah, after completing only book number 1, part 1, you will see that there will be a big change and improvement, inshallah, in your Arabic language. Anti, so as we can see from the picture, that anti is used for the feminine to point towards something. So anti will be this one, and anta is used to point towards something or to talk to someone who is masculine singular, so that is anta. And then we want to say kayfa haluka. So of course for the masculine it will be kayfa haluka, and for the feminine it will be kayfa haluki. Tadrib, ajib. Ajib means answer. Ajib means answer. And now you have to answer Assalamu alaikum. So for the answer, you will say Wa alaikum assalam. Masmuka, what's your name? And then you will say Ismi Khalid. Whatever your name is, you just give your name. Kayfa haluka? How are you? And you say Bikhairin walhamdulillah. Ismi, and then you tell your name. So you say Ismi Khalilun. This is based on what we have done in the exercise. And now, let's say if you're talking to, I'm talking to you, then you can give the answer, whatever answer you have available for you. For example, Assalamu alaikum, you say Wa alaikum assalam. Masmuki for the feminine, so you will say Ismi Khawla. Kayfa haluki, and the answer will be Bikhairin walhamdulillah, and Ismi Khadija. Masmuki, when you ask Masmuki, you say, what's your name? So she says, Ismi Khawla. And then you give your name, you say, Ismi Khadija. This is for the feminine. And for the masculine, we say Masmuka, and then you say Ismi. So this is the difference between masculine and feminine. At-tarakib al-nahwiyatu, grammatical rules, as we have learned already, that ya means my, and it's used for the possession for first person singular, whether it's masculine or feminine. For example, you say kitabi, that means my book. And then we have ka, that means yours, and it's used for possession for the second person masculine. So you say, for example, kitabuka, your book. And then we have here, and this is used for the masculine. Don't forget about that, that it is used for singular masculine. And then we have ki, which is basically your. It's used for possession for second person feminine. So this is used for the feminine. For example, you say kitabuki, and as you can see, it is used for the feminine. انتهينا من الدرس. تم الدرس بعون الله تعالى. We have completed our lesson number 1, dialogue 1, part 1. مع السلامة.